So yesterday I announced that we are getting new stimulus checks, $600. Here's an update for December 23rd. We have a special message straight from the president as this light it's getting too bright here. Straight from the president, and it looks like he may even veto this upcoming bill. So the critics have said that there's too much waste in the bill, that we have money going to other countries, we have money going for special interests, we have money for Congress getting double their health insurance, while average Americans do not have health insurance or jobs for that matter. So we have a special message straight from President Trump as of, I don't know how long, this was just released maybe an hour or two ago. So this is the last message we got. We have maybe this stimulus check won't even complete. Take a look.
Throughout the summer, Democrats cruelly blocked COVID relief legislation in an effort to advance their extreme left-wing agenda and influence the election. Then, a few months ago, Congress started negotiations on a new package to get urgently needed help to the American people. It's taken forever. However, the bill they are now planning to send back to my desk is much different than anticipated. It really is a disgrace. For example, among the more than 5,000 pages in this bill, which nobody in Congress has read because of its length and complexity, it's called the COVID Relief Bill, but it has almost nothing to do with COVID. This bill contains $85.5 million for assistance to Cambodia, $134 million to Burma, $1.3 billion for Egypt and the Egyptian military, which will go out and buy almost exclusively Russian military equipment, $25 million for democracy and gender programs in Pakistan, $505 million to Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama, $40 million for the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., which is not even open.
So yeah, he's complaining that a lot of this stimulus package, remember, it's close to $1 trillion. There's maybe 100 million of that going to different countries, some money going to Pakistan for gender studies. And so the bill itself is actually 5,000 pages, and Congress was only given 2 hours to decide to pass it or veto it. So yes or no on the vote. They literally get a stack of 5,000 pages, and they only have 2 hours to decide whether they're going to pass it. So nobody knows what's in the bill. We're still trying to figure out what's in the bill as of December 23rd. And so it's kind of like the end of the year. They're sneaking everything into the end of the year. This is special interest. This is corporations. This is, how many lobbyists. This is a lobbyist bill, right? This is how Congress works now. And the people that we pass to get into the State House and into Congress, they actually, even if their best intentions are to help us as an American citizen, they're not able to do anything really. So the bill is passed, and now it will go over to President Trump to sign. So he can, in fact, veto it, which will send it back. And most likely, if he does this, then we are looking at the stimulus checks that I said that they were pretty much good to go. Just need a signature from the president. It looks like that may not happen. Continue.
For business, $1 billion for the Smithsonian, and an additional $154 million for the National Gallery of Art. Likewise, these facilities are essentially not open. $7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico, a provision to promote the breeding of fish in federal hatcheries, $3 million in poultry production technology, $2 million to research the impact of down trees, $566 million for construction projects at the FBI. The bill also allows stimulus checks for the family members of illegal aliens, allowing them to get up to $1,800 each. This is far more than the Americans are given. Despite all of this wasteful spending and much more, the $900 billion package provides hardworking taxpayers with only $600 each in relief payments, and not enough money is given to small businesses, and in particular restaurants, whose owners.
So he's saying $600 is not enough. I'm going to agree with that. It should be at least $1,200 like last time. Then he's saying small businesses are not being helped. Specifically, he's mentioning restaurants. So if you're a restaurant owner out there struggling, yeah, you might want to vote for... And I know for a fact that that's one of the hardest industries, even in normal circumstances, to run successful business. There's such a low margins and high overhead in the restaurant industry, especially with American specific areas where you have higher taxes and you have to pay employees a certain minimum wage. Like in California, it's like $15 a minimum wage. So there's a lot of regulations. Now we have business being closed since March, and not much in the way of relief. Even companies like Dave & Buster's, large corporations that I've invested in as kind of like I saw the dip, I picked it up, and then I thought, okay, Dave & Buster's is going to be a really good long-term play. They're going to rebound nicely, but the restaurant industry is still hit. And even a company like Dave & Buster's would have hundreds of millions in the bank reserves for this types of situations are are not able to keep their businesses open. So the churn rate is so high that a lot of these, maybe even half of restaurants may be going out of business permanently. This is really big.
Have suffered so grievously. They were only given a deduction for others to use in business their restaurant for 2 years. This 2-year period must be withdrawn, which will allow the owners to obtain financing and get their restaurants back in condition. Congress can terminate it at a much later date, but 2 years is not acceptable. It's not enough. Congress found plenty of money for foreign countries, lobbyists, and special interests while sending the bare minimum to the American people who need it. It wasn't their fault. It was China's fault, not their fault. I'm asking Congress to amend this bill and increase the ridiculously low $600 to $2,000 or $4,000 for a couple. I'm also asking Congress to immediately get rid of the wasteful and unnecessary items from this legislation and to send me a suitable bill, or else the next administration will have to deliver a COVID relief package, and maybe that administration will be me, and we will get it done. Thank you very much.
So there we go. That wraps it up. So you're saying at least $2,000, $4,000 for couples, along with dependents, would be, if you have 2 kids, that would be somewhere around $5,400. And that seems to be more in line with the other countries that are giving out stimulus or ongoing checks, whether it's Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and European countries. So yeah, this is interesting. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen? Are we not going to see those $600 checks? Are they going to turn into $2,000 checks? I think President Trump kind of is reading Twitter, seeing what the American people want, actually, and then just talking about it here in this address. So it's interesting to see that he's actually listening to the American people and putting out this message, even though it looks like that he may be even exiting the White House in a few days. So interesting stuff here. I'm not sure what's going to happen in the next few days, if he's going to veto it or if this is just kind of trying to placate the audience, the American people. We'll see what happens over the next few days. But yeah, but you can still apply for the EIDL grant program, and I recommend doing that if you haven't already done so. And you can take a look on how to do that in my recent videos. So my last 2 videos right here, you can find out a little bit more how the stimulus checks and the business how the business grants work. So take a look at that and smash that like for me and leave a comment down below. This is like a brand new channel for me, and if you want to see more videos like this, let me know. Otherwise, I'll continue to make more videos on advertising with YouTube, how to start a business, and digital marketing type of product reviews.